This conference will now be recorded.
We still have 3 minutes.
This conference will now be recorded.
Yep. Good evening. This is the October 21st, 2025 meeting of the Council of the Borough of Matawan, New Jersey. Pursuant to Section 5 of the Open Public Meetings Act, adequate notice of this meeting has been provided by publisher notification in the Star Ledger on January 13, 2025, by sending notice to the Asbury Park Press and by posting. A copy of said notice is and has been available to the public and is on file in the office of the Borough Clerk. A copy of said notice has also been sent to such members of the public as have requested such information in accordance with the statute. Madam Clerk, may I have a roll call, please?
Councilperson Dina Gunn.
Present.
Councilperson Arlen Files has an excused absence this evening. Councilperson Brian Livesey.
Here.
Councilperson Stephen Russell.
Present.
Councilperson Suzanne Reynolds.
Here.
Councilperson Charles Ross.
Here.
Mayor, you have a quorum.
Thank you. Please stand for a salute to the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please remain standing for a moment of silence. Thank you. Except for any first responders, please silence all cell phones. Council and members of the public, please speak directly and clearly into the microphone to properly record for the audio system. At this time, discussion 2025 best practices inventory. And I'll turn the microphone over to the Borough Administrator.
Thank you, Mayor. The best practice inventory, just wanted to provide an update, which is required per the regulation. Essentially, it's due every year. This is an annual administrative task, essentially, as a requirement from the state of New Jersey that every municipality must complete the best practice inventory in order to qualify for state aid. In order to qualify for the state aid, you have to meet a minimum score. This year, the minimum scoring is 32. The process evaluates how well we align with the state standards in areas such as financial management, transparency, and operational efficiency. Some questions are scored and some are not scored, and those are traditionally for general knowledge. And sometimes the state will have unscored questions to test them out to make them a requirement in future inventories. A lot of the questions from year to year are generally repeated, and they do add some new questions as well. What's the requirement is the chief financial officer, myself, the administrator, and the clerk will go in and attest to it before the deadline, which is this Friday. Our chief financial officer has completed his review of it, and he has identified that we have scored with at least 35 points out of the 32 required to receive the state aid. I will do my initial, I've done an initial glance of the report and found that in addition to what the CFO has identified, there's definitely some additional scoring that we can take advantage of. I will complete my essentially review after this meeting, and then the clerk will go in and attest that this discussion took place, as well as that the CFO and I have signed off on it. So right now we certainly have more points than required to receive full state aid. And then once it is submitted, it will become a public document. So that completes my discussion.
Any questions?
If there are any questions from the governing body, I'm happy to answer.
Any questions from the governing body?
Higher score we get, better financing? Or?
No.
I just tried.
Yeah.
Anybody else?
Well, I guess the technical answer would be if you do not receive the minimum 32, then I think it's a tiered thing, but it's not an issue. So, yeah.
Okay. Any other questions? Any questions from the audience? So noted. At this time, we have a presentation, New Jersey Community Solar Energy Program Initiative, the New Jersey Board of Public Utilities, and the New Jersey Clean Energy Program. So I'll invite them up right now to give us a presentation.
Thank you guys for inviting us out tonight to share this with you. Appreciate the invite. I did hand out copies of this, so I'm going to go through the presentation pretty quickly and then allow time for questions, if we may. So we're here to, my name is Tom, I'm with Solar Simplified. We're here to go over the New Jersey Municipal Community Solar Program. In our presentation, we're basically just going to go through what is community solar for those who are not familiar, benefits of the program, who we are at Solar Simplified. There's a couple of case studies in here I can share, what the next steps would be for the program, and then open discussion so you can all ask questions. Community solar is a state-regulated program that guarantees savings on your electricity bill. It is for any homeowners and renters, basically anybody with an electricity bill would qualify for this program. That's a residential account. About 85% of US households can't put solar on the roof. So that's really what this program is designed for, to help that large percentage of the population get access to solar energy and savings that can't otherwise do so.
Do you want me to ask questions now or all at the end?
It's up to you, whatever you prefer.
Why is that? What reason is that 85% can't use it?
Yeah, so multiple reasons. One of the biggest reasons is renters. Obviously, renters don't have the ability to put panels on roofs of properties they don't own. There's a lot that just don't have access to rooftops that are capable of holding solar, and then one of the other big ones is financial reasons.
Okay.
So those are the three biggest ones. With community solar, you keep your same utility. So in this area, it's JCP&L, so you'd still be a JCP&L customer. We're not an electricity supplier, so your supplier also stays the same as it is. Community solar is a different program entirely. And there's no catch with community solar. It is a state-designed program to, again, expand access to renewable energy while lowering costs for consumers. How does community solar work? It's really pretty simple. We have solar farms that are located throughout the state. They produce energy that gets pumped into the grid. That energy then can be applied, the credits for that energy can be applied directly to customers' bills who choose to sign up for the community solar program. And I do have a sample with me. I can share that with you too, of what a sample JCP&L statement looks like with community solar credits added. Benefits to customers, it is a 27% savings on solar credits right now. There's no installation required. Absolutely nothing happens at the residence of the customer. This is kind of like, think of it as virtual solar. So we don't go to the customer's house, nothing happens there, no equipment gets installed. Obviously, advantages of solar, we're reducing carbon footprint and advancing New Jersey's renewable energy goals. And supporting a cleaner environment for the community, and also creating local jobs, as these solar farms are all within the state. Community solar benefits for municipalities. Obviously, benefits for your constituents, which I just went through. Also supporting New Jersey's clean energy goals. And we do offer a civic contribution of $50 for every account that's enrolled. That can go to the municipality, or if there's a nonprofit group, or it's really up to you guys to decide where that would go. Couple case studies. Lancaster, New York was one of our first municipalities that we partnered with back in 2022. It's a population of about 20,000, and we enrolled about 700 residences there since 2022. They've had about $500,000 in savings generated for the customers there. I want to kind of add an asterisk there. New York's community solar discount is only 10%. Here it's 27%. So this number is a lot lower than what we will see in New Jersey with the higher rates that we have here. And we've generated about $35,000 in civic contributions in Lancaster. Another newer town that we partnered with in 2023 was Cortlandville, a little bit smaller town, 8,500 people. We've enrolled about 300 plus since 2023 when we started, and you can see the savings numbers there as well. We also work with municipalities in other municipalities in New York, as well as Illinois, Massachusetts, Maryland. We are just kind of getting started right now in New Jersey. We're working on our first couple partnerships in New Jersey. We hope to have one in a few minutes. There's one town that we presented to last month that I know is voting on it tonight. So hoping to have our first partner in New Jersey tonight. We have a couple other ones that we've presented to as well.
I ask which municipality in Jersey?
Yeah, it's a small town called Edgewater Park down in Burlington County. And then we've also presented to Middlesex as well. I think they're voting next week as far as I know. So those are the first two that we presented to. And I think you guys are the third official presentation that we've done. There's a reference on here from Ron Ruffino. He was a supervisor of Lancaster, which again was the first town we worked with. He kind of sent us this as a nice note that we could put in our presentation and share. And last slide really just talks about who we are. Solar Simplified is a company to drive accessibility, transparency, and mainstream adoption to solar energy by working with local municipalities and focusing on consumer education. We match renters and homeowners who care about the environment and want to save money on their electricity bills with local solar farms through an easy and transparent sign-up process, making renewable energy accessible to all. A couple bullet points about us specifically. Number one is we have immediate capacity, so we can sign people up and get them going. Normal process is about 60 to 90 days from sign up to a customer seeing their first credits on their bill. Track record of success, we've been doing this for about 6 years now in various different states. No formal complaints. If you look at our Better Business Bureau record, and we don't have any complaints there or any other regulatory complaints on our record, which is great. And we really pride ourselves on focusing on relationships with partners, which include a lot of municipalities and other organizations that we partner with. Next steps would be for y'all to approve our program if you wish. We have an agreement that's just basically a marketing agreement that we can share with you. What we typically do is we execute a mail campaign first to get this out to all the residents. We send them a flyer. There is an enrollment form that we send. In New Jersey, they do require the enrollment to be done electronically, so they ultimately will come to our website, but we can at least get in touch with them and start to give them the information. This is an opt-in program. Residents opt in at their choosing. This is not like an energy aggregation where we're just rolling everybody into it without their consent. So this is purely something that they can do if they wish. That is pretty much it as far as the presentation goes, and I'm sure there's questions, so I definitely want to open it up for questions.
I don't know if you want to make a note to the residents that there is no contract. It's a month by month. You can opt in and opt out a month later if you don't like the process. I don't know if you want to.
Yeah. So
what's that?
Yeah. So there, when you sign up, there's a form that's actually a New Jersey state form that has all the mandatory information that we disclose, including the discount percentage, which I mentioned earlier, is 27%. On that document, it does state that you can opt out at any time. So there's no long-term commitment to this. That's one of the other big differences between this and doing like a rooftop solar system where you're locked into that for probably 20 years.
I think you said the 27% is just the solar that you get from JCP now?
Yeah, the
What
27%.
percentage to the solar JCP now?
So when you sign up for the program, the first thing we do is get your historical usage from JCP&L. So we reach out to JCP&L, they tell us how much energy you've used over the last 18 months. We try to supply on a one-to-one basis. So if you've used 20,000 kilowatts of energy, we're going to try to supply you your total usage.
So what percentage of the 20,000 kilowatts is solar versus?
We try to supply you 100%. So we're trying to match your usage in totality. So ideally, in a perfect world, you're going to see a 27% discount on your overall JCP bill. It's going to fluctuate a little bit because it is solar, so there's production goes up and down, but we aim to get you, pretty much 27%.
Why don't we do this? We could have you sit here with this microphone.
Okay.
So that we could have it recorded. Anybody, if you want to have a question, please come on
I
up.
have one question.
John Serto, 29 Crescent Place. The presentation is a bit misleading. I'm assuming that you are a vendor, so this is a vendor presentation to the borough?
Correct.
Okay, that's all I needed. Thank you.
Anyone else? Any questions? Come on up. Come to the microphone,
Come to
please,
the microphone.
so we can record you.
Bob McGowan, 177 Main Street. Do you have the ability to supply the entire borough if everyone signed up?
No, we probably have capacity for, as of right now, I would say about 800 households.
Out of how many do we have here? Depending on-
3,000?
25.
Yeah, that's
2,500?
Okay.
Yeah, we-
So maybe 20% of it.
Yeah, I mean, I can tell you, we've been doing this for 5 or 6 years. I mean, if we saw that many households sign up, it would be
unusual.
abnormal.
Okay.
There are some things that would disqualify households. So if a household has solar panels on the roof already, they would be ineligible because you can only work in
They're
one
already
community
working.
solar realm. So that does disqualify some people, but I would venture to say we have easily enough capacity to sign up anyone in the borough that's interested.
How wide an area of the state are you able to supply?
So we have capacity right now in JCP&L, so anywhere that's covered in JCP&L, and we also cover PSE&G as well. So we have, that's probably about 2/3 of the state.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome, thank you.
Can you answer the question of roofs? How young does a roof have to be in order for you to put solar panels on it?
So we're not putting any panels on the roof.
Oh, that's right.
So there's no restriction there.
Any other questions from the audience? Come on up.
Hi, Abby Berg, Broad Street. Does this affect the residents in town that receive LIHEAP or USF, since we're not going to be now really using the electric company?
No, actually, it's a good, I'm glad you brought that up. So so New Jersey requires that half of our capacity for community solar is actually reserved for low and moderate income households. And those programs are actually one of the qualifiers that they use for that. So if you're on one of those programs, you qualify for that status as a low and moderate income, which typically the non-low and moderate income spots fill up first. So that usually gets kind of a priority access if we were to be full, which we're not full right now, but.
Also, you said you were in Edgewater and Middlesex. Why did you choose Matawan? Like, what made you come here?
We reach out to many municipalities. Many don't really give us the time of day. I want to say Charlie on the environmental committee. We reached out to, sometimes we reach out to, the clerk or the mayor, just depends by municipality. We try to reach out to the environmental teams from a lot of towns. So that was how we initially got in touch with Charlie, and he brought it to the council.
All right, awesome, thank you.
You're welcome.
Are there other vendors that also do this as well?
Yeah, I believe there are, the state has them all listed on the website. There are a few other vendors. We're one of the newer ones. There was an initial community solar pilot program. I think it was in 2021. We weren't part of the initial program. We got in on the second round, and now they just put out, Governor Murphy just about a month or so ago, just put out a request for the third round of community solar approvals.
Okay, thank you.
Anyone else?
Each one of these providers, you have your
Come
own
on up.
solar farms?
Yes.
What was that question?
Now, each one of these providers, there's 3 or 4 different providers, they each have their own solar farm.
Yeah, so
And
we
the answer is yes?
have exclusive agreements for each solar farm. So, and we also, once someone signs up with us, they become our customer and they stay our customer. So
Do you own the solar farms?
we don't own the solar farms. We sign an exclusive agreement. We work with a bunch of different developers who build them. So we kind of find out that the developers are good at building the farms, but they're not really good at doing all the other marketing and getting customers enrolled and customer service and all that stuff. So we kind of manage that after they build the farm.
George Slupinski from 15 Matawan Green Lane. So you said that the targeted discount is 27%, subject to various factors,
Yeah.
and that must be if the plant is fully generational, it's sunny more than it's raining, et cetera, et cetera. Okay, so it could be less than 27%, but you're targeting up to 27%.
So the discount, this is where it gets a little confusing. The discount is a fixed 27% on the credit that we apply to your account. So we apply solar credits onto your account based off your historical usage. And it does follow along with your monthly usage too.
Okay.
So our goal is to apply, so say your bill is $200. We want to apply $200 worth of solar credits, and with you keeping 27% of that.
Okay.
But that 27% is fixed. It's on the solar credits that we apply though.
So, and it's based on, now the bill has various parts to it. There's generation charges and delivery charges and everything. So you're saying this is regardless of the types of charges on the bill?
Correct.
If the bill is a $200 bill in total, you're trying to apply 100% credits to the $200.
Yep.
And then we would keep 27% of.
Yep. Yeah, it does covers supply, covers delivery, covers all of that stuff. It's all covered.
And you said you have enough capacity for about 800 homes
Currently, yeah.
total for your company.
Total.
How many homes do you currently have signed up on for your company?
Wait, that 800 is just for Matawan?
The 800 is just for JCP&L customers.
Oh, so that's the whole, okay.
Yeah.
Go ahead, finish, I'm sorry.
So my question was, how many customers do you currently have enrolled now?
Across our company, we have probably about 10,000 or so.
In JCP&L, how many customers do
In
you have
JCP&L, we
enrolled?
have, don't quote me on an exact number, probably about 200 to 300. We have one project that's operating right now that's already filled, and then we have another one that's.
So your remaining capacity is 500 to 600 homes?
No, sorry.
In
I'm not
JCP&L.
counting the customers who are already enrolled. I'm saying we have about 800 left.
Okay, so your capacity is 1,000 to 1,100 homes in
Total.
total, with
Total.
200 to 300 homes enrolled, with about 800 left.
Correct.
And then what happens when you hit max capacity? Let's say you get those 1,000 customers.
Mhm.
Does that then reduce the amount of credits you have to apply to your customers if you
No,
go
we-
above and beyond that?
No, we stop enrolling. So
You
if we,
stop enrolling.
yeah, we would, if we got to that point and we were filled, we would stop enrolling. Now, we're always trying to acquire more solar farms too, so that the 800 is
So your
is here
capacity
now.
could grow.
We hope it will, of course, yeah.
Okay. No, okay, so it's, but as of today, today's fixed number is roughly
That's
1,000 homes, you
Yep.
have 200 or 300, okay.
Yeah.
And when you hit your max capacity, you don't continue to enroll, which reduces the discount to people, you're going to stop
We stop.
unless you can increase your
Yeah.
capacity.
Yep.
Okay, thanks.
Welcome. Would that be in writing?
The 27% and all that stuff is in writing. We don't, there's nothing on the contract or anything that really states that we would stop acquiring customers. Now, keep in mind, we're a business and it costs money to acquire customers, so we really don't want to
Okay.
keep paying to acquire customers if we don't need them. It wouldn't benefit us.
Okay. Anybody else, questions?
You said that the resident becomes your customer, so are they still a JCP&L customer getting a JCP&L bill, or are they getting a
Yeah.
bill from you?
No, they still get a JCP&L bill. I do have some samples I can give you before I leave that shows what that JCP&L bill looks like with community solar credits applied to it. When I was referencing that they'll stay our customer, what I was referring to is once we sign them up, if they have questions in a year from now or 2 years from now about community solar, it's still going to be us they're talking to. We're not like a broker who just kind of signs them up and pushes them off to another company. So that once they sign up with us, we're there with them for the long term.
So now if anything happens to these solar farms, like solar panels obviously have to be maintained,
Mhm.
they can get damaged. How does that affect these credits? Like if something goes down, if one of these farms goes down for any reason, a storm
Yep.
takes them out, what happens then?
Yeah, they would see a reduction in credits or depending. So the longer answer to that is solar credits actually go into a solar production goes into essentially what's called a bank. So in the summer months, we're producing a lot more solar energy. That actually goes into a bank and then carries over for the customer into the winter months. So it balances out the credits over the course of a year. So if a farm got damaged tomorrow, there very well could be extra bank credits that could still even carry us through. This is kind of all hypothetical, but there still could be credits there to carry us through. So customers would still get credits, but it's a hypothetical, could vary depending on what actually happened. So the worst case for our customers, they go back to not getting any credits, which puts them back to where they are before they sign up. Customers can never lose money in our program, which is one of the nice parts of it as compared to an energy supplier that changes the rates up and down. You know, a lot of people have probably had energy suppliers over their, course of their life where they do variable rates and they go up and down. And in those kind of situations, people can end up paying more than what JCP&L's rate would be. So with our program, it can never cost them any extra money.
So now if the municipality decides to vote on this and say yes, does that now put you as solicitors in the neighborhoods knocking on every door?
Our CEO is 110% against any door-to-door soliciting. We don't do it, never have, and never will. Some of our competitors do. It's just one of the things we have been steadfast against. We don't believe in knocking on doors. And
How would you advertise?
so we do a couple things. The big thing we do is a mailer. We send out a mail piece to every resident that's going to have information in it. There's kind of a form in there they can request more information. It's almost like a sign-up form, but it basically they can send it back to us. There's a pre-addressed envelope and postage paid envelope. They can send it back. They can call us if they wish. Everybody's different. Some people like to call. Some people will email. A lot of people will mail that back. So the mail campaign is a big piece of what we do. We're also open to working with, if you guys have other organizations, climate groups, like we're able to do table days. If you have events, we're able to come out and participate in those kind of things. So that's really something we can talk with you guys. We're open to doing. If you tell us, hey, there's this great town event that a bunch of people are going to come to, and you think we should come to it, that's something we're open to doing.
Otherwise, the information will be in the mailer to have them go sign up at the website if they want to look through it or.
Yeah, that's where a bulk of the enrollments typically come from when we do these type of campaigns.
And theoretically, if you use up those 800, then there's other providers as well that they could possibly choose from in community solar.
Okay. There's likely going to be a lot more coming. Like I said, Governor just put out the
list
list recently for another round. So there's going to be a whole new round of farms getting built soon.
Great, thank you.
Do you open this up to commercial too, or just residential?
New Jersey is strictly residential as of now. Other states do open to commercial, but so it's not unheard of, but as of now, it's only residential.
So to sum up the finance part of it, it's for the municipality, for that partnership would be $50 for each enrolled account.
Mm-hmm.
And for the customer, it's the 27% reduction in their bill. Okay. Anybody else, questions? All right, so noted. I thank you so much.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah, and if you have any other questions, you have our contact.
Yes, I will.
Share that.
I will.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
At this time, privilege of the floor for agenda items only.
Mr. Serto.
John Serto, 29 Crescent Place. I'm speaking tonight under the Open Public Meetings Act, which guarantees the public's right to observe and question how its money is spent before bills are approved. After reviewing the October 21st, 2025 bill list, several patterns raised serious concerns about fiscal control, compliance, and transparency. First, there continues to be a high number of payments or reimbursements made directly to individuals under the local fiscal affairs law. No claim shall be made without a properly signed voucher receipt and certification of approval by the governing body. Frequent personal reimbursements instead of centralized purchasing weaken accountability and create unnecessary audit exposure. Second, event and entertainment spending appears within the operating fund. The local budget law prohibits using tax levy appropriations for purposes outside of the adopted budget. Community celebrations are important, but they should be funded through the Recreation Trust Fund or sponsorship revenue, not the current fund. Third, several lines reference ARPA or other state federal grants under 2 CFR 200 and the annual audio agreements of 40A:50-4 grant and ARPA expenditures must be tracked separately with full documentation. Mixing those ordinary bills risks noncompliance and potential repayment of federal funds. Fourth, the local government ethics law reminds us that no official or employee may use their position for personal benefit. Transparency in procurement protects both borough employees and elected officials from any appearance of favoritism. Finally, if full vouchers, purchase orders, and contracts are not available for review, I will request them under the Open Records Act, which guarantees public access to every supporting document behind the bill list. In closing, I respectfully ask the borough to publish a quarterly spending summary by department and fund consistent with the accountability intent of NJSA 40A:5-16 and 10:40-6, so residents can understand where their tax dollars go before they are approved. These comments are not personal. They're about lawful spending, sound governance, and restoring public trust. Thank you. And I still have some time. I'd like to talk about the $2 million bond. Now, we're with the $36 million for the water. Now we're looking at over $80 million in debt, and you just want to add more and more on. Our debt service is what? 2.2, 2.4 a month? That's horrible. And you guys just keep on adding on to it. We have a majority council to thank for that. And I thank you very much. That's all I have for now.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone else, privilege of the floor for agenda items only? So noted. Motion to close privilege of the floor.
Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Motion passed.
At this time, clerk's report.
Thank you, Mayor.
You're welcome.
The clerk's office issued the following business license for September, October 2025. Vega Dispensary, which is a retail cannabis dispensary on Route 34. With regard to elections, November 4, 2025 is the general election. Polling locations are open from 6 a.m. to 8 p.m. Election information is available on the clerk's page of the Borough website with guidance for ballot drop box locations, early voting locations, as well as Borough polling locations. Please contact the clerk's office for assistance. Due to the November 5, Tuesday general election and November 11, Tuesday Veterans Day, our next council meeting is scheduled for 7 p.m. Monday, November 10th. That concludes my report.
Thank you. Mayor's report, short report, just two things to report tonight. First, High Street between the new Aberdeen Road Bridge and Main Street. The work underneath the ground was completed. We're given time for the road to settle and will be paved in the next couple of weeks. And it will be paved overnight to minimize the inconvenience. And lastly, we were awarded, Matawan Borough was awarded a grant for Tuhun Park for $180,000. $180,908 to be exact. And that's my report for tonight. Administrator's report.
Thank you, Mayor. I just want to thank the Personnel Committee for their work together preparing the policy manual that's before the governing body tonight. It is a biannual requirement of our joint insurance fund that our employee policy manual be in compliance with its mandatory language and be reviewed frequently, but at the very least once every 2 years. In addition to that, there's a comprehensive supervisor and management training program that's mandatory, as well as other compliance mechanisms in place for the borough to enjoy the eligibility for premium reductions and copay incentives with our insurance company. So this is an important step for us to meet the deadline for November 1st for us to be able to enjoy those incentives for the following year. I'd like to thank all those that made it possible for me to step away for 2 mornings last month to attend the New Jersey Municipal Management Association conference in Red Bank. Sat in on very important sessions about cybersecurity and risk management, as well as legislative and regulatory changes from the Division of Local Government Services, and emerging operational challenges that are facing municipalities across the state. And starting on Saturday for a little less than a week, I'll be attending the International City and County Management Association Annual Conference, which is just sort of the same thing, but on the national scale. I'm looking forward to that. I attended the Community Development Block Grant scoring meeting, which is the county's committee that is largely charged with reviewing applicants for CDBG grants and assessing those applicants and providing scoring matrices, and to be later the recommendations of the county and who should get the annual allotment. This year's allotment is $1.3 million, a little bit over $1.3 million, and made up of roughly, I think, 6 different municipalities and maybe 7 different nonprofits. Don't quote me on the exact number there, but very excited for the receiving grantees. Had a health benefits meeting with Horizon Blue Cross Blue Shield since we've made our transition to the health insurance fund to review the borough's health benefit utilization dashboard and network performance since transitioning over to the health insurance fund from the state health benefits plan, which has resulted in over $300,000 in savings both to the taxpayer and to our employees combined. And it puts us in a position to avoid, if we had remained in the state health benefits plan, a 36.5% rate increase in 2026, which is what currently is projected unless there are further interventions. So it was a prudent move of the governing body in 2024 to move in 2025 and still proves to be a prudent move. We are finishing up resident assistance for state programs like Stay NJ, Anchor, and property tax freeze. If anyone needs assistance, they can still contact my office. The deadline is October 31st, and we're happy to help facilitate that with either the mail application or online. It's a fairly simple process, except I think the hardest part is trying to set up the ID.me account online. So if you need help with that, please, there's multiple of resources throughout the state, and the Borough Hall is happy to assist as well. And that will conclude my report, and I will be doing the engineering report later on in the agenda. Thank you.
Thank you. Attorney's report.
No report tonight, Mayor. Thank you.
Thank you. Our engineer's not here tonight, so the engineer's report will be read by our borough administrator.
Thank you so much. I'll try to be brief. There is essentially no substantial update from the previous report for the sewer rehabilitation program from 2022. We are in Clinton Street Park Improvements Phase 2. The following status is we've had the pre-construction meeting in June. Obviously, construction has begun. Excess soil has been stockpiled. Drainage work has been completed. Bleachers are being constructed. Benches are being installed. Concrete work is ongoing. Playground equipment is being installed. They've made significant progress. Hopefully, that project will be completed by the end of the year. There is an update to the road program. As the mayor sort of already mentioned, the water main on Hahn Street water service replacements are complete. The sanitary lining of the High Street is approximately 80% complete, and the work on Washington Street is ongoing and is expected to, the work is expected to begin on Oak Knoll hopefully next week. Sanitary sewer and the sanitary and sewer work that was done on New Brunswick Avenue is complete. The county is allowing that to settle for a little bit longer, and then the county will be paving that portion of the road. It was a great partnership with the county, Aberdeen, because part of the work needed to be done in Aberdeen and Matawan. So I think all those that were involved to get that work done before the county paved to save everybody time. Sorry, just reading through. Backup well installation, shop drawings continue to be submitted and reviewed. Approval for the aquifer test was received from the NJDEP September 25th, 2025. NJDEP issued the well permit to the driller on October 8th, 2025. The contractor will be scheduling the work shortly. Update on 150 Main, the evidence room has been cleared. The solar panel disconnect is being coordinated and anticipating the asbestos abatement to commence next week. And then once the asbestos abatement is complete, if there's no other hiccups, it should be scheduled for demolition. 2026 to 2030 solid waste recycling contract. Preparation of the specification for the solid waste and recycling contract, which has a 5-year term, continues and is expected to be completed this week. The borough officials are doing its final review of the draft that T&M coordinated, and once that is approved, it will be advertised per the state statute. And that completes the engineer's report. Thank you.
Thank you. Economic Business Development, Planning, Zoning, Police, Councilperson Dina Gunn.
Thank you, Mayor. I have no report for planning and zoning. As far as police is concerned, I have a draft report. The chief of police is out of town, but he will send the final report to the entire council upon his return. The command and supervisory staff will continue to focus on providing that necessary staffing and supervision allocation while keeping overtime costs at a minimum for the calendar year 2025. As of year to date of 9/30, we've only used about 33% of our budgeted overtime, so that's good. 98 hours of overtime were expended this month for shift coverage, investigative follow-ups, coverage for supervision, special events, and other extending past normally scheduled shifts due to call volume. Officers provided traffic assistance for 51 special duty assignments this reporting period. As far as special events and community policing is concerned, the police department command staff and officers attended Ravine Drive Elementary School first day of opening in September. Officers provided road closures for the Blues and Cruise Night on September 5th, and our police department honor guard attended the 9/11 memorial ceremony on September 11th. The patrol division responded to 1,234 calls of service during this reporting period. And year to date, they've been responding to, or they have responded to 10,039 calls year to date. There's been 218 e-citations issued during this reporting period for motor vehicle expenses. And that includes my police report. As far as economic business development is concerned, I want to thank everybody that came out for Matawan Day. It was a wonderful day. We had thousands of people gathered over at Borough Hall. The weather was beautiful. If you were here, you know that it was a perfect day for Matawan Day. I do want to thank our sponsors, our vendors, our residents, and the 60+ volunteers that it took to make this day happen, including many of our high school students. They were great and super helpful in getting the vendors in and out in a very efficient amount of time. I also want to thank the Economic Business Development Commission and their volunteers for all of their support in planning this event, as well as the Chamber of Commerce, Kathy Zavorskis, Linda Martin, and Doug Preston. There was hundreds of hours went into planning this event, but it was a huge success, and it couldn't be done without each and every one of them. So thank you for a great day, and I think everybody can agree it was a wonderful community event. Also attended the PBA Oktoberfest this past Saturday. It was also another beautiful day weather-wise, so we've been pretty lucky in that regard. This Friday, we have the Boo-tacular outside here at Borough Hall from 4:30 to 6:30 for our Halloween festivities, and at 6 p.m. we will be showing Wicked. So if you know anybody that would like to come, please join us. It'll be a great event as we get ready to go into Halloween week. In addition, Vigor, as the clerk mentioned previously, Vigor is now open over on Route 34. So there'll be a grand opening for them on this Saturday, the 25th at 1 p.m. So I hope to see many of you there. And Mayor, that concludes my report.
Thank you. Councilperson Alden Farless is not here tonight. So DPW Fire Shade Tree, Councilperson Brian Livesey.
Thank you, Mayor.
You're welcome.
Shade Tree, with the assistance of the DPW, delivered trees to residents and planted the 2 trees we talked about last meeting. So there's a new tree on the front lawn out here that replaced one that passed away, if you will, and then a new one by the lake as well. We're working on completing our forestry management program for the end of the year. There were several requests while the Shade Tree was at Matawan Day for a gardening club. So we did have a brief discussion on what the Shade Tree Commission can do or maybe provide with that going forward. As far as budgeting and I would say scope, because a big discussion always is it a beautification, planting flowers, or is it gardening beds? And the commission would kind of like to stay with the beautification end of that. So we're going to follow up on the next meeting with that as well. We have an appointment this week to meet with T&M in Clinton Street Park. We're kind of mapping out the location of new trees that are going into that. So fire department responded to 32 calls. 5 were structure fires. They also had several calls, again, during the nor'easter for down trees, down lines, and alarms going off. So again, thank you to them for keeping us safe. The DPW, biggest thing is, again, thank you for Matawan Day. They're a huge help. They're here early in the morning and late at night. Got pretty warm during the day, and they're out there working and doing everything we asked, and I couldn't thank them more. That's my report, Mayor. Thank you.
Thank you. Historical Sites Personnel, Councilperson Stephen Russell.
Thank you, Mayor.
You're welcome.
Concerning the Personnel Committee, the committee has reviewed the proposed personnel policies and procedures manual in its entirety, in its, I think, 118-page entirety. We conferred with Labor Council and unanimously recommend that the Borough Council adopt the manual as presented. You will consider this tonight with Resolution 25-10-11. Concerning the Historical Sites Commission, HMR Architects is ready to pre-qualify contractors for bid submissions for the electrical work on the Borough's Mansion Museum. A site visit is scheduled for Thursday, October 30th. The commission met with the architects representing the owners of 135 Main Street, also known as Cozy Corner Cafe. They discussed various options for the aesthetics of the structure. More specifically, the architect stated that they will reopen the side window egresses and allow previously blocked off windows to be reopened. The historic facade will be refurbished, but all historic features will be kept intact. A complete plan is forthcoming to the commission before the November meeting. There was also a fruitful discussion with the borough housing attorney and members of the commission, and the ordinance revisions for the downtown preservation district are ongoing. The borough also recently posted a new position in hopes of alleviating some of the oversight currently being required for the maintenance of the historic sites, primarily Borough's Mansion Museum. A Matawan resident and member of St. Joseph Church, Ray Kerr, approached me as liaison to the Sites Commission. I was employed at St. Joe's for 9 years. Since they are celebrating 50 years since their historic old church in Keyport was demolished and the new church built, they were trying to locate some of the original pews from the old church. They had heard that they might have been installed at the old Matawan Municipal Building. I put out the word, and by way of Doreen Liu and Irv Nussbaum, we were able to determine they indeed were there. Unfortunately, due to the issues with the building, they were not able to remove any of the pews. But we are all glad to settle that part of St. Joe's history did end up being part of Matawan history. And that concludes my report.
Thank you. ADA, Animal Welfare, Property Maintenance, Councilperson Suzanne Reynolds.
Thank you, Mayor.
You're welcome.
For Animal Advisory, there has been no updated number since last month for the TNR program. For property maintenance for September, there was 27 phone calls, 5 complaints, 3 NOVs, 1 summons, 8 were resolved, 3 OPA requests, 10 door tags, and 1 vacant property registration, and there was nothing for grease traps. For ADA, we did have a meeting held on September 25th where we discussed grants that have been awarded and plans for upcoming projects such as Terhune Park. And we are currently researching if there are any specific ADA grants that we can apply for. And I know Ryan was going to look in to see if there was any ADA training for the staff here as well. And that concludes my report.
Thank you. Construction, Environmental, Finance, Councilperson Charles Ross.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
You're welcome.
We saw a presentation on environmental, so you're welcome for that. Ryan, you know I'm gonna answer this question. Fill me in and the residents in on what's going on with the process, please.
For WIPA, you mean?
Yes.
So I heard back from the DEP a few weeks ago that they were going to need more time to review our application. I anticipated that this question was going to come up. I actually followed up with them this week to see where they are. They're well past what they even expected they were going to need in terms of additional time. The statute provides them with 30 days. I will do a further review with our attorneys to see if there's any way for anyone who's pulled out permits or applied for permits. Generally, if you do a permit with like your planning and zoning office, if it's not, if no response is given within 30 days, then it's automatically accepted. I don't know if that's what happens here with WIPA, but my experience with the DEP is that's not the case, most likely. We'll have to wait for them. But I will review with our legal professionals and our engineers to see if there's anything that we can do to move forward with it. because we're well past the 30 days that was sort of outlined in the statute. Essentially, and as we all know, we very much, there's no opinion needed. One of the areas that are required to meet the criteria to be able to pursue the WIPA process is you have to be in a critical area of water supply. The DEP has already deemed that Matawan is in a region where that so exists. So we meet the criteria. I don't know what the further review is required, but I will be reviewing with our professionals to see if there's anything that we can do without waiting for the DEP. And if we have to wait for the DEP, we'll do everything we can to try to move the process along sooner rather than later.
Clock is ticking, so my question would be, your point, you said there's 30 days in the next phase.
Yep.
Obviously, I think we're at 47 days now, probably. Once we get approval on day 50, do I still go wait? That's my question, really. Or can I start the next process? Yeah, we know the delay, so.
Yep. The only thing I cannot recall if the appeal period happened from the moment the governing body took action with the report, or if the appeal period happens after the DEP. I am, unfortunately, it's a gray area in my mind when that appeal period starts. Hopefully, it started already and we don't have, right. So we should be, so if that is what my understanding is correct, once we get the DEP approval, we can then proceed with advertising for bids.
If I heard her correctly, when she gave that presentation, I thought it started after the approval. I could be wrong, but that's what I thought.
I may have an email. I'll quickly try to review that.
You want to wait for it or you want to continue?
TikTok. No, I'll give them time to look at it. We'll get somebody else. You can always come back to it at the end of the meeting.
Can I just ask Ryan a question really quick?
Yeah.
No, Ryan, sorry, Ryan.
Oh, Ryan.
Since you did the engineer's report and you spoke on the garbage contract,
Yes.
so is that going out to bid before the end of the year? Being
Yes.
that it is?
Yes, it is currently on schedule to go out to bid and close. And I don't know if we'll be able to award at the December meeting, but at the very latest, awarding at the reorganization meeting in January, if that's so how we decide to move, yes.
And the takeover was what, February 1st?
It's sometime in February, our contract ends, yeah.
Good?
Yeah.
Good show.
Thank you.
And just one addition on the community solar, if residents do have questions or need more information, there is a link on our main page on the website that directs straightly to the BPU. They can find out more information and as well find all the providers in our area that they could potentially partner with, not just the one that gave a presentation today.
And going back to the presentation, I'm assuming that our attorney would have to review it to see about being in a contract with one person. We're going to interview other vendors or.
If I understand correctly, Mayor, I think that was just a presentation for public information. The borough wouldn't be contracting with that entity. So basically the public has, some more information now about the possibility of alternative energy, and they can go to, we're not, endorsing one vendor over any other. So they could go to, the list that the state puts out and explore different options if they're interested.
Yeah, that's a good point. I want to get abundantly clear. I spoke to these gentlemen and ladies at this company at the environmental committee, and I told them specifically, I am not endorsing you. I'm not against you. This is a meeting for pure informational purposes only. Matawan is in no way, shape, or form, endorsing them. Again, if you want to be part of it, that's something we can discuss on a new date. It was me, more importantly, giving the residents information and a chance to hear something that they may want to be a part of.
I would assume there's some kind of contract if they're going to give us $50 per account.
If we decide to go that way. Again, I'm not advocating for or against it. Again, it was purely for the residents' information.
Yeah, I'd have to take a look, Mayor. What I understood, from a lot of what he was presenting was he was talking directly to the residents in terms of the residents achieving some savings and doing well by the environment by using that program. But, if there's something for the borough to do, obviously we would have to do our due diligence. We would probably have to bid it out. We would have to look at different purchasing laws and make sure that we're complying.
Correct. Okay.
Yeah, it does say you would sign an agreement with them. So to your point, you can leave it up on the website and let people make their own decision, or you'd have to sign an agreement with them. So.
Yeah, my point was that I would like the attorneys. to
Oh,
give
of
us
course. Mhm.
Thank you for that dialogue. I've been able to find the timeline. The mayor's recollection was correct. The 45 waiting period for the appeal starts after the DEP agrees. And then we have advertisement soliciting for RFQs and receipt of responses, and then bids can go out.
Then you can let it fire under their ass, please.
I will do everything I can.
Again, this is detrimental to us.
Yep. Yep, absolutely, I will.
Thank you.
All right. At this time, consent agenda. Before I move on, there's only 2 resolutions on the consent agenda. Does anybody want anyone taken off of?
I don't want it taken off. I have a question. On resolution 25-1009,
Hold on, should we do a first and a second first?
If Councilwoman has a question about it, but she doesn't want to take it off, then, it's up to you, Mayor, how you want to handle it.
Yeah, you can answer.
so everywhere in here, it says $76,900 and no cents, but then in every parentheses, it just says 76,000 with no 900. But then if you look at the actual paperwork, that looks like a bill signed by them, it says 76,900. So what exactly are we agreeing to, 76,000 or 76,900?
I would think it would be the 900. It might be a typographical
Your
error.
clerk making a typo.
Okay, so everywhere that the parentheses says
Yeah, it looks like it's just a
76,000,
typo.
okay,
Yeah.
Thank you.
you're welcome.
So that's a scrivener's error. We could correct that prior to certification of the resolution.
Okay. On the consent agenda, resolutions 25-10-08 and resolution 25-10-09, we'll do en masse. Can I have a motion?
Motion.
Second.
Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Councilperson Gunn?
Yes.
Councilperson Levesey?
Yes.
Councilperson Russell?
Yes.
Councilperson Reynolds?
Yes.
Councilperson Ross?
Yes.
Motion passed.
Thank you. On the new business, resolution 25-10-10, establishing a discretionary extended property tax grace period for qualifying taxpayers during the ongoing federal government shutdown. Could I have a motion?
Motion.
Second.
Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Councilperson Gunn?
Yes.
Councilperson Levesey?
Yes.
Councilperson Russell?
Yes.
Councilperson Reynolds?
Yes.
Councilperson Ross?
Yes.
Motion passed.
Resolution 25-10-11, repealing resolution 23-10-22 and adopting the updated policies and procedures manual. Could I have a motion?
Motion.
Second.
Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Councilperson Gunn?
Yes.
Councilperson Levesey?
Yes.
Councilperson Reynolds?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, excuse me, Councilperson Russell.
Start with R, not the letter.
I was looking at the next name down. Councilperson Russell.
Yes.
Councilperson Reynolds?
Yes.
Thank you. Councilperson Ross?
Yes.
Motion passed.
Thank you.
Excuse me.
Ordinance 25-18, bond ordinance providing for the purchase of certain real property by the Borough of Matawan appropriating $2,100,000. Therefore, and authorizing the issuance of $2 million bonds or notes to the borough to finance part of the cost thereof. Yep. Could I have a motion for introduction?
Motion.
Second.
Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Councilperson Gunn?
Yes.
Councilperson Levesey?
Yes.
Councilperson Russell?
Yes.
Councilperson Reynolds?
I'm going to need to abstain from this.
I'm sorry?
Abstain.
Thank you. Councilperson Ross?
Yes.
Motion passed. The public hearing will be held 7 PM November 10.
And resolution 25-10-12, payment of bills. Could I have a motion?
Motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Motion passed.
And at this time, privilege of the floor.
Mr. Serto.
Members of the council, under Borough Code 2-35, the borough administrator shall serve as the chief administrative officer of the borough and shall be responsible to the mayor and council as a whole for the proper and efficient administration of the borough's affairs. That language makes the position nonpartisan by design. The New Jersey Local Government Ethics Law 48:9-22-5, Part C, D, and E requires every official to avoid conduct that even appears improper or politically influenced. On September 17, 2025, the borough administrator attended a Restore Matawan political fundraiser organized by officials who control his contract and salary. That creates precisely the appearance the ethics law forbids. Personal time is not an exemption from ethical duty. The public's confidence in fair and impartial government is what he was sworn to protect, and his attendance at that fundraiser, the Restore Matawan fundraiser, damaged that trust. If our own borough refuses to enforce its ethical standards, I will make sure this matter is reviewed by the proper oversight authorities outside of Matawan. Okay. I'm here tonight to address a serious breach of public trust, the partisan use of Terhune Park, a borough-owned property for political campaigning. On August 25th, 2025, the Restore Matawan campaign held an event in that park. Photos and video taken at 6:59 p.m. show multiple Restore Matawan campaign signs installed directly in borough soil. The video clearly shows a sitting councilman and also a Restore Matawan team member carrying several of those signs across the park. On October 7, 2025, the official Restore Matawan Facebook page posted a photo of those same signs still standing in the park, promoting additional sign distribution that morning immediately before your public meeting. The open permit for August 26, 2025 event authorized the community gathering only. It did not authorize political activity or campaign signage. Yet public land was used as an election backdrop by the borough's own majority party. This violates Matawan signage ordinance, NJAC 19:3C-3-9, Section B, and the core principle that government property must remain politically neutral. It also exposes the borough to insurance risk under the joint insurance fund, which excludes campaign events on municipal grounds. Terhune Park sits directly across from Borough Hall. Every resident and visitor who saw those signs saw government neutrality disappear. I'm asking tonight for a formal investigation, a written determination under Borough Code, and code enforcement action warranted. Let me be clear, this is not an opinion. It's documented evidence of violations of Borough Code, state, and 19:31C-3-9, Section B, and state election law carried out on borough property by borough officials who knew better. You all knew better. You can't put campaign signs, okay? And every one of those violations is now preserved on record for state and insurance review. I submitted it to the Monmouth County Joint Insurance Fund. I've copied everyone because you guys don't want to answer for anything. So I'm going to keep on doing this. I have a list of items, and I'm going to find every one that you violate, and I'm going to bring it to the mayor and the majority council, who refuses to do anything that I bring up. You violate the law. It's horrible. You violated the law across the street. Borough Hall's right here. Look at my packet. You all got my packet. Well, Ryan got it. I'm Jonathan. I'm sure you got the packet by now, because I got Ryan's response and he didn't copy anyone except for Karen. So I got 35 seconds. So yeah, I'm going to push this. I've also contacted the Monmouth County Board of Elections. I've also contacted several state agencies and entities, and there'll be several more of these as the days progress as I file them. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? Pillage to the floor?
Hi, Melissa Marinaccio from MacArthur Drive. I'm curious, ordinance 2518, what are we bonding for? Why are we buying this? We're in a lot of debt, and not everyone's in agreement on selling the water. So what are we doing this for?
Right, Art Building?
Is that what 2518
Like
is?
America building on 140 Main Street. My opinion, why are we doing it? Because I'd rather have Matawan control their own destiny with development and let it fall into the hands of the developer.
Do we have the money to do
Agreed.
it, or is this contingent on us selling the water to get money? What's that?
Again, we are bonding for it now, $1 million.
How much does it cost to bond? If we had money on the side, we wouldn't have the bond, right? So what's,
There's also, you can look at it as an arbitrage, right? If we borrow money from the state government at 2%, and leave that money in the bank earning 4%.
so what are we doing with the space?
Do we?
What are we gonna do with it?
Again, possibilities are endless. Now we control that land. A month ago, the residents came in here and were up in arms about 160 Main Street, that we didn't do enough to stop that. This opportunity came before us. We decided, okay, we can stop that by us purchasing the land.
But we don't have a plan. That's my question.
Correct.
I need to have a plan right now. It's again, it leaves it in our hands, the Borough of Matawan's hands, and the residents' hands, that we don't have another developer coming in and jamming down a 50-unit building on Main Street that nobody wants.
I agree with
Yeah,
that.
may change in
Mhm.
a couple of years, but we control the land. If we decide to sell it to the developer in 3 years for $3 million, so be it. You're right, there is no plan.
If we control it though in 3 years and then whoever's in control then, does the people in the borough get to vote on that before we go and sell it? Like, what's the rules here for the people of, taxpayers?
So it will
Own it,
be,
and there's no plan.
to Councilman Ross's point, it will be used for public use. So there's ideas, we need parking downtown. We are looking at
do
doing
need
a public,
parking.
we're looking at a public green space at the old PD. There's other possible uses for it as well, but the most important thing is taking control of the property, and then we'll be able to come up with a cohesive plan.
It just would be nice to be proactive instead of reactive, and this is only halfway there.
Again,
So I'm just
it's
asking
like-
questions.
No, okay,
That's all.
I have one more question.
Okay.
I think what's doing is being proactive, instead of letting it linger or missing out on opportunity. Again, the possibilities are endless. A park, probably not gonna be the answer, but we now control it, and I think that's the biggest takeaway here, is that Matawan controls it and not a developer.
Agreed.
Agreed. Thank you.
You're welcome. Anyone else?
I have a question. What are we doing with that property being on the tax sale list? Because it is. It's going up for tax sale on November 25th.
So potentially, nothing would change regarding that. So it would, a potential purchaser will buy that tax lien, and then the owner, whomever is responsible for that tax amount, will be responsible for to the person who buys the tax lien.
And they could also pay it off before then.
Or they can pay it off, right? Thank you, Councilmember.
So wait, so let me get this straight. We're trying to buy this, or we're in the process of buying this
Correct.
for $2.1 million of a bond.
Well, it's
I
up to
understand that-
2.1.
Correct. But now you're saying that you're going to allow this to stay on the tax lien list to be sold. So now we're gonna, if we own that property, now we owe,
We would not assume the tax, no. So once something goes onto the tax lien sale, it gets sold to whomever wants to buy it at an auction.
We get that tax.
We get the money. The borough always gets paid.
and now but don't they own that on
No.
that property?
They're just paying the tax lien.
So now the old owner is gonna owe that person?
Correct.
We would not assume any tax liability.
Why wouldn't you just pull it off the tax sale list? Like at that point, you know what you're
Because
in the
that is
process
a
of doing.
benefit that would be given to somebody that it would be not given to any other resident or property owner in the borough.
I'm just surprised that since this is going into a contract, that property owner hasn't put that as a stipulation in the contract, which is not.
They may not be the responsible party. I don't know whom is responsible for that. It could be the prior owner, because they only bought this within the past 2 or 3 years. So this is a 24 tax sale. I'm sure, it most likely is the current owner, but it could have been the prior owner.
I mean,
don't
it's
know.
$2,083.70, so I would assume it would have a lot of interest on it if it wasn't current.
Yeah, I don't have it in front of me, the interest, but it is immaterial at the end of the day. The borough will always get the tax amount regardless of whom the payer is.
Okay.
My name is Abby Berg. I live on Broad Street. I was just listening to what everyone's saying about this property. I guess I'm confused because when 160 Main was up for auction, a whole bunch of us were like, please buy it, please bid on it, do something. And we were told that the borough just doesn't buy land and that it's a bid, so we're not sure. But if we're doing a bond up to 2 million, right? Depending on whatever the sale is going to be, because if it was 1.5, then we don't have to do the whole 2. I don't understand why we couldn't have done that with the 160 Main. And then we would have the whole block, and then you can have lots of public uses except for pocket parks or whatever weird little things you guys like to put on there.
It will not be a pocket park, I can guarantee that.
Yay. What do you do? Like,
Are
it's
you
just,
done, or did you want an answer?
I just don't understand why now we can bond for this and we couldn't do it before. Because if we bonded 2.1, let's just say on the other one, and the bidding went up to 2.5, okay, so then we don't use it, right? It's done, and we can't win it, and then we don't have it, right? But what if it went for 1.4 and we had 2.1, and now we have that piece, and now we can bond out? You bonded out for water that we might not need for a well. You're bonding out for everything. You guys bond for everything. And the one time we are like, do it, spend our money. You're like, we can't, but now we can.
Did you want the
It just feels disingenuous, is what
You want
it
the
is.
answer?
Sure, I'd love to hear what you guys came up
You
with.
heard wrong. You didn't hear that we can't buy it, but when it goes out to auction, we don't have the time to pass a resolution in anticipation of what it's going to go for.
In
Number one.
ordinance, so to bond, it requires an ordinance, so an introduction like tonight, and then a public hearing that can happen within a certain period of time. So it requires at least 2 meetings to be able to bond for something.
And there wasn't enough time for when we knew there was going to be an auction to bond out. We didn't have enough time. We for sure didn't have enough time.
You don't know what
Which
it's
is
going
what-
for. It's an auction.
Actually.
So let me see, wait, hold on one second. I'm just connecting to the timeline because I understand how this works because, right, part of my job is making sure that, my actual job is that we let the municipality know when we're like trying to get money for grants, right? We have to let the municipality know. So you have to announce it at one meeting and then you have to discuss it. You can discuss it at the next, right? How much, you can, in theory, right? So,
We'll discuss it.
okay, so that's 2 weeks. So you're saying that the auction was only 2 weeks? We had less than 2 weeks?
You're not understanding. What are we going to, they're going out for auction, so the highest price gets it,
Right,
right?
but you just said on this
Listen,
one, we're gonna go
listen, now
up to
listen
2
for the answer.
million.
You're not listening for the answer. Goes out to auction. We don't know what that price is going to be. We can't prove anything. We don't know what that price is going to be. Highest bidder gets it, correct?
Right.
So we don't know what it's going to be. We
Okay.
can't pass anything.
The
Number
same
one.
thing when you buy this. What
Number
if somebody
two-
else wants to buy it and they
Number two,
overbid
the
you?
answer is
The answer is you didn't want to. That's the answer. You didn't want to, so you didn't. That's it. That's it. That's all I don't even want to talk about it because you guys are gonna do whatever you want to do anyway. We could stand here and say,
No, you-
please don't
you
do it,
listen
please
to
don't
what
do it,
you
and you're
want
gonna
to
do it
do.
anyway. It doesn't matter what we say. You do it anyway. You guys do whatever you want.
Mayor, they're not listening. She's not listening.
For the
I am listening.
For the
Because
record.
if you said you have
2
1
things.
week and then 2 weeks, the same thing. This is up to $2 million. So what if you go to we bond for it, right? And the guy's like, well, I want 2.5. So now we just bonded for something that we don't have, unless you guys are already talking to them and you already have decided and you already have a price and you're doing this because this is the only way you can buy it. I don't know. That was just my logic. What I really wanted to come up here and say is this. I am really uncomfortable. So hard. Outside of this room, we all have private lives, okay? We're all on social media. We all say things that are a little crazy sometimes. Most of us are private for that particular reason. So that way, as individuals, we can filter who is watching us and seeing what we're doing. I am mostly blocked from most of the Restore Matawan sides. It's fine. I don't care. It's irrelevant. But there is someone on the council, and I'm not going to use their name, and I'll talk to the attorney about this privately afterwards, that has constantly been watching what I'm doing and then creepily followed me. Now, maybe to other people, it's not a big deal, but it's weird. It's uncomfortable. I'm not friends with this person, never had a conversation with this person outside of ever, okay? I was gonna call them out by name tonight, but I'm like, you know what? I'm not a complete jerk all the time. I'll let the attorney know. It's weird. It's uncomfortable. I gotta stand up here and look at you and see, God, what am I saying? I'm gonna finish what I have to say.
Time is up.
You know what, fine. I said what I had to say. I'll email, Mr. Cohen the name. But you know what? I almost regret not telling you guys.
Anyone else? Privilege of the floor. So noted. For the record, 2 reasons why we couldn't purchase 160. That it's an auction, we don't know what the price is, and the second is value. It has to be valued within, it can't be overvalued. So if the selling price goes from what it's more than what it's valued for, we cannot purchase that. It's illegal for us to do that. Those are the 2 reasons why we didn't purchase one.
In addition, there's other reasons as well. We were in an agreement with 3 parties, ourselves, Fair Share Housing, and the litigant.
The owner then.
Correct.
Homeowner.
And it would not have stopped our obligation to meet that agreement.
Correct. All right.
I gotta do one comment. If someone is harassing a resident, that is bullshit. So, I don't know who it is, and honestly, I don't want to know.
You jumped from following to harassment.
Well, again, I'm not a big Facebook professional, but if this resident feels harassed by somebody on this day.
They didn't say that.
I think
I feel harassed by someone on the day. Is that better?
I'm just making a point though. If there is some kind of shit going on behind the scenes, stop. So I don't know who it is here. I'm just saying, again, we are all neighbors here.
Not you.
We may not agree on a political spectrum. I think we can let the residents have their.
I agree.
Their piece.
I agree.
There are a lot of details left out, so I'll give Ms. Burke my
And I'm
card.
pretty sure she's gonna email you. I'm
Okay.
just saying it as a courtesy here.
Sure.
Let's let the residents have their moments.
Right, I'll review exactly what she says, and, if it turns out that there's something, then we could look at it further. But as of right now, I'll wait to get that email from Ms. Burke.
And, in the personnel manual, it is specifically addressed that should a member of the governing body receive a complaint such as that, it is very much important to the borough and immediately dealt with. And there is a whole procedure for such a claim to be investigated.
All right. There's nothing further. Motion to adjourn.
Motion.
We didn't close privilege of the floor, did we?
Oh.
Yeah, sorry. Motion to close privilege of the floor.
Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Motion passed.
And motion to adjourn.
Motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Motion passed.
Have a good night, everyone.
Good night.